And we're back with this Winged Sports Lounge episode 2. Me and Dr. Break Vegas, Coach DT wasn't able to make it. We wasn't able to have guests as we wanted. Things didn't come together like we panned out. But next week we plan on having two young men uh, with great futures ahead of them. You know, they're high school athletes, play high school football, and they have signed the intent to play college football at the next level. So I'm not going to tell you everything. We're going to give you a little snippet of what we have coming up next week. So this week I want to start the show off giving shout out to the ladies tournament and Miami's coach, Coach Meyer, and Ole Miss coach. I'm not even trying to mess up her name, but congratulations, ladies, on beating the number 1 seed in Stanford and Indiana. You know, that's monumental. And with that being said, we're going to go right here to the men's side. We're going to talk about this upset. Purdue. Did you bet on that game?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I ain't even been betting on these games. I've been in and out watching them, just doing enough to get familiar. I'm really not gonna start picking up the bets until that final 8-4.
Final 8. So it's the 6-16. So after this round, you feel like you gonna get in there.
And that's my philosophy. I know it's been a lot of upsets. We'll get into that, and so I'll hold my comments until we get to that specific topic.
Hold on, we got some technical difficulties. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, let me leave the studio. All right. Let me change my camera. I just was hearing a lot of static.
All
right. So guess I'm good now. All right. Yeah, man. I watched the 16 seed game with TSU and FDU. And man, FDU, I mean, I just liked what they brought to the table. And I was like, man, there's no way they finna lose to Purdue. 23 points. I bought a couple of points, pushed it up to 25. And I made that bet. And then they even covered that next round because they made a lot of noise because they were the shortest team in college basketball from top to bottom. And to me, we ballers. That mean they know their game. They ain't finna do nothing they can't do. They gonna size you up. They know distance and all that good stuff. So they some hoopers to even make it that far. And so yeah, I rolled with them all the way to the wheels fall off, and they made me a little dough on that little parlays and in-game bets or whatever. But Purdue, man, these coaches that are at these top tier programs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's on my end.
What was your last comment on the top team?
What'd you say?
What was your last comment on the top tier?
Oh, I was just asking, these coaches, how do they justify losing to these smallest programs? They're supposed to have every advantage that there is to have.
Man, to be honest with you, just if they really not losing to, we're going based off of names and history of college basketball. We were so accustomed to the Dukes, we're so accustomed to the Kentuckys, the North Carolinas. They make it every single year, but the level of talent is spreading, and a lot of these second tier schools are not getting that recognition, and they sit with the most talent on the squad. And so when it comes time for these March Madness tournament, you're starting to see true players. And it was a great point made in our group meet today by Dr. Davis. He said, you got to remember, it's 5. So some of those players coming off the bench you don't see. And those be the different makers right there. Just different levels. And then you think about Princeton. Them boys don't even get scholarships. They pay to play basketball. So they going out there with no win mentality anyway. It's like, it's whatever. You know, we paying to go here anyway.
Man, my thing's still static, and I know you hear it.
I hear you now. I couldn't hear you then.
Can you hear the static, or is that just on my end?
That's probably just on your end. I can't hear it.
Okay. Thank you, Amy. Okay, yeah. So what I want to say was, you know, we have Purdue, we have Virginia losing to Furman, we have Arizona losing to who did they lose to? Dang it.
Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona.
They just lost the other day too. What was that? I was watching that game. They were playing. Give me a second.
That was the first round.
Was that
TCU?
first?
No. Well, I don't already have this information. That's a Thursday game. Princeton, Arizona lost to Princeton.
That's what I was saying. I'm just talking about.
Princeton is known for making upsets too. So, you know, kudos to them and their coach. I'm not sure how long he's been there. A&M lost to a lesser seed, and I was actually going for A&M because Marvel's son goes to A&M now.
Oh, really? Transferred?
Yeah.
He was originally at
he was at Michigan State.
Okay. So that's a good move for him. So he should be starting now.
Yeah, I think he's getting a lot of minutes, but that's closer to home, man. You know, his old man had passed or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, so that was just a whole new ball game with you know, him not being there. You know, so we had Duke who just lost. Who did Duke just lose to?
Duke lost.
That's
not surprising though. I mean, Duke hasn't been Duke for about 3-4 years now.
But I think this is year one with them without Coach K, and they lost to Tennessee, and Tennessee was ranked, you know, ahead of them. But at the same time, you just
Duke
feel like that's not something that should happen. And they was like on a 9-game win streak at the same time, so I kind of felt like, okay, here they come, you know, because these are not anybody. These are blue bloods, what they call them. So they have basketball background. They have a basketball IQ. You know, if you feel like this is the caliber program that they are.
Yeah, but when it comes down to crunch time, Duke been my squad since the 6th grade. Duke gonna lose to a Tennessee. They'll lose to an Alabama. They'll lose to an Auburn. Teams like that got them hard-nosed, rugged players, they gonna lose.
When did that change, man? After, let's say, Vince Carter days, man, because Sean May, like, no, man, that's when we was in college, and that's how I got my cousin nickname, Elijah. I called him Oak Elijah because of the cat from North Carolina named Oak Elijah. You know, and they was winners, man. Even what
I'll say Jay Williams era. That's when it started transitioning. They were still good, you know, still getting great players, but after that, Jay Williams, you know, they'll make it to the Final Four. They end up losing.
Yeah, but this ain't even the Final Four. They ain't make it to the Sweet 16.
Nah.
They ain't make it to the Sweet 16. So then we got Mizzou losing. Who did Missouri lose to? I should have looked at that. So that was on Sunday. Man, this is pissing me off. Well, That don't
Missouri
matter.
lost to they lost to Princeton.
They lost to Princeton too.
Actually, Princeton's still in it.
I know Princeton had 2 upsets, man. Princeton was a 15 seed.
But that's not an
15
upset. You
seed
think that's like that Florida Gulf Coast team that was balling that year that
a couple
actually made
years
it.
ago. Yeah.
So
You're right. Then we got Marquette because I'm a Shaka Smart fan. I don't think he had his best work done at Texas. When they lost to ACU, but they lost to Michigan State, and Michigan State got a lot to play for. Man, they had that shooting up there, man, and it's like times have been so crazy. And it's been 2 shootings in DFW in high school since school started. I don't know about any other places, but I mean, come on, man. Like people don't know how to cope with life or something. You're gonna take another life. Or something ain't going wrong in yours. So, let's be mindful and let's just pray for our society. But yeah, man, Baylor even lost to Creighton, and
I mean
the Big 12 was supposed to be up by something, man. So what I really want to say is, these schools and these coaches are getting paid handily. And for them to lose like they do in the manner that they do at the end of the season, because me and you, we coached basketball before, not at the high school level, but at the junior high level where you still, have expectations. And at the end of the season, you're supposed to be playing your best ball. Like we see from a FDU, like we seeing from Princeton, like we seeing from schools, who shouldn't be in the position that they are in. That's it got me feeling like I coached the wrong sport. I shouldn't have been coaching football. I should have been coaching basketball all this time.
I mean, it's all about systems, man. And Princeton has a system, and they work within it. You got when you dealing with these big time schools now, you're dealing with like AAU basketball, and that's individualized players. So that's why they're losing these systems. Princeton don't have a standout player. They all averaging about 8 to 10 points a game. Creighton was a good win, though. I mean, I could see Creighton beating Baylor. Creighton is not I wouldn't consider them a Cinderella team because they've always been in the mix. Now, if you're talking about Fair Dickinson, and to see Florida Atlantic still in it, now we're talking about.
Mo, I'm gonna leave, man, because I'm trying to I got this speaker thing going off. I'm trying to come back in, man, because if everybody on Facebook, that's what they're hearing. So hold tight.